Good morning. It is day 1. Yay! All right, I'm just getting the messenger room up and running. Awesome. Yay! Here we are. Ready? Are you ready? Ready for what? Ready for all sorts of good stuff. Good morning, Lakshmi. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Day 1. Yay! Oh my God, day 1. It's amazing. The excitement that we generate on day 1, getting started on our journey of manifestation. It's unparalleled. All right, so I am going to read the passage for our affirmation, all things are possible. This affirmation is at the basis of the way we approach life. All things are possible. Literally, there are millions of possibilities. And your point of focus is what crystallizes a possibility and makes it manifest. That is what law of attraction is all about. And we start day 1 by planting the seed of that belief that all things are possible. And this seed that we are planting, we've got to nurture this seed not just on day 1 and not just through the 40 days. This seed is what we nurture throughout our life. From this day forward, you got to return to these words all the time, through every day, through every week. You've got to return to these words. Somebody is not nice to you and you think, oh, they're not nice. No, all things are possible. Therefore, this person has the capacity to be nice. I can't find a job. There are no jobs out there. No, all things are possible, which means there are opportunities out there for you. All things are possible. This is at the basis of having a successful life. All right, so let's get started and read our passage for today. Day 1, all things are possible. Abraham Hicks's analogy is a good one to remember when you can't see how things will work out for you. Imagine that you look out of a window of a tall building on a clear day and you see all the streets for miles around. The next day you look out of the same window, but there's a heavy fog and you can't see a thing. It feels as if the city no longer exists. It feels as if nothing is out there. But you know that that is not possible. You know that all the streets are still there. When we are in the midst of a problem, we can't see the solution. It feels as if there is no solution, but there always is. Our thoughts create the fog. You see, our thoughts create the fog in our mind. There are always many different solutions that the law of attraction can make possible. Which one unfolds for us depends largely on where we are on the emotional scale. This is why the most important thing of all is to work on our vibration and reach for the feeling of love and joy, emotions that are at the very top of the emotional scale. The easiest way to get to love and joy is to appreciate where we are. The easiest things to appreciate are the ones... Sorry, someone say something? All right, guys, can you mute your lines, please? Okay. The easiest way to get love and joy is to appreciate where we are. The easiest things to appreciate are the ones that have nothing to do with our personal lives. Nature, trees, animals, the sky, the sunshine, and water. You see, the difference between appreciation and not is a very fine line. And because our thoughts move at a very fast pace, we think a complete thought in 4 to 6 seconds on average. We can move from being positive to being negative very quickly. and without realizing it. But every time we touch upon what we want to fix, we make the problem bigger. Where attention goes, energy flows. Because it would be impossible for us to monitor all of our thoughts, it is better to just get off the subject that we want to improve altogether. That is why nature is so wonderful to appreciate. It is easy for us to look around and find things that are wonderful. And if perchance you can't do that, you can always go to Google and look for pictures of flowers and butterflies and beautiful vistas and appreciate them. You can close your eyes and revisit places you have been in your mind. In other words, there are countless ways to find something about nature to appreciate. Sometimes the hardest thing to appreciate is our own life and our own person. So don't even try. Take the easy path, take the path that has no resistance, and allow the universe to do the rest. Appreciation is the key that opens the door to all possibilities that would be satisfying. And the thing is, it's about history. When we have history with a person, it's hard to appreciate that person because every time you even say the name of the person, it acts as a trigger. When you see them, that's a trigger. And that trigger brings out all the history that you've had with them. And so you can't change the history, but you sure can change your perspective about it. If you keep saying this is the way it is and it will never change forevermore, then by law of attraction, that's what the law of attraction will make happen for you. Not necessarily for other people. So we just have to be careful about what we are doing in here. And when you absorb this belief, all things are possible, then you give up history because history has no impact because all things are possible. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. For example, look at a baby that's born. It doesn't know how to walk. Are you going to say this baby will never walk because it can't walk today? No. We know that the baby will eventually be able to walk. So we have to give up the past, and people are evolving. Situations are evolving and changing. If you just hold on to this one belief that all things are possible, anything out there can happen, what I want can happen, now you're opening the door to positive possibilities. Oh, I'll never get that raise. I'll never get that client. I'll never get that weight loss. It doesn't happen. I don't know how other people do it. They must have a secret. They must have a secret that they're not sharing with anyone. Yes, they do. They have a secret. But anyone can have that secret. And that secret is here. It's just over here. So anything is possible. And here's the most important thing of all is to collect evidence that everything is possible. Collect your own personal evidence that everything is possible. That's where we play creation games that are mentioned in the workbook as an optional exercise. But creation games help us to start believing in our own power as manifestors. So you ask for a rainbow and then you see a rainbow. It might even just be a picture of a rainbow, but nevertheless, the universe found a way to show you a rainbow. You ask to see numbers lining up, and then you do. What is the universe telling you when that happens? The universe is confirming to you that you are a powerful creator. And you should make a journal and write down all those wonderful things because they are synchronicities that the law of attraction is bringing. Just recently, When I advertised the program that I was going to do, the Science of Spirituality program, I said to myself, wouldn't it be nice if I had like a small group, not too big, not too small. And I said, wouldn't it be nice if I have 20 people attending? Guess what? I had exactly 20 people register. So what did that do for me? What it did for me was, it confirmed to me the fact that when I put it out there, it happens. This month in February, I put it out there that in March, middle of March, I wanted 2 new coaching clients. And even before the middle of March, I got 2 new coaching clients, because I've told myself, universe and me, I just want to coach 2 people a month. That's my happy place. So what happened? I got what I wanted. So what is this? It is putting it out there and collecting evidence. When you collect evidence, then you start believing in yourself. That's why we have the section in the workbook about 3 things that I'm going to do and 3 things I'm going to ask the universe to help me with. Make them small things. Don't put big hunky things on that list. Make them small enough so that if they don't happen, you don't feel hurt and not, so big that you don't think that they're possible. And more than anything at all, don't look for the evidence. Allow it to happen. That's how we build trust. When these little things, synchronicities happen for us, we start believing that we do have the power. Hi, Karen.
Hi, sorry I'm late. My Facebook took a nosedive. I had to reinstall.
That's okay. That's okay. We don't want to talk about that. Right? Yes, law of attraction. We only talk about things that we want to happen tomorrow and the day after. Yeah.
It's going to work forever.
No, you don't believe that, so don't say it. Best thing is to stay off the subject because you don't yet believe it. And that's what we were talking about just now, is that you need to start collecting your own personal evidence. And when you collect your own personal evidence, that's how you start believing it. So many people on Facebook. Hi guys, Deborah, Ankita, Elizabeth, Sakina, and Amy, I think, and Elizabeth, Elena. Awesome. Guys, come and join us in the chat room. You can find the link under the Rooms tab. All right. So, all things are possible. And I want you to close your eyes right now, wherever you are, just for 30 seconds. Close your eyes, put both your hands on your chest, and say it out aloud. All things are possible. And then feel how it feels when you say those words. Do you feel elated, or do you feel like, no, that's not true. I don't believe it. How do you feel? If you feel elation, if you feel tingles going through your body when you say those words, then you should say them exactly that way. All things are possible, because it's working for you. It's taking you up the emotional scale. But if you say the words and a small voice inside you says, I don't know how that works. I don't know if I believe that. Well then, don't say it exactly like that. Change it, shift it, and say instead, I want to believe that all things are possible. Therefore, what I want is possible. I am on my way to believing that all things are possible. And now your mind is willing to accept that. You cannot tell yourself a lie and succeed. That's the bottom line. You actually have to believe it, not just lip service. You have to believe it. Hi, Candy. So, what we want to do is to collect evidence, because our own personal evidence helps us to believe. Even evidence of people that you know who do things, magnificent things happen for them, it helps you to believe if you know that person and you are seeing it happen in their life. Right? Amazing things can happen, and then you say, oh, that person manifested it. Friend of mine, dear friend, we're friends since school, love each other. She's my sister, and thankfully she also came to Canada. So she started a business living in Ontario. She started a business in Quebec. She still lives in Ontario. And she's talking, and so when she told me about this, she said, Zara, I just bought the territory rights to all of Quebec for a franchise. And at first I was like, oh my God, what are you thinking? You don't even know a single word of French. Are you moving there? So my first question to her was, are you moving there? And she said, no, I have a business here. I'm not moving there. So then I said, okay, so how's this going to work? And she said, well, if I can move all the way from Pakistan to Canada, I think I can run a business in Quebec. And I said, you know what? I'm the law of attraction teacher, but she is absolutely right. And guess what happened? She said, do you know anyone there who can help me set up my business? And guess what happened? I thought about it. And I reached out to someone who is part of the Unicorn Club, because I know that she lives in Quebec. And I said, my friend wants to start a business. Do you think you might be able to help her? And this girl said, actually, I'm looking for work. And I put the two of them together, and off they went. And were extremely successful working together. And I looked at it and I said, wow, she totally manifested this. It came through me, but it was her manifestation. Why? Because she believed it. She told her, the whole world told her. This is the story I heard afterwards. She told me her husband opposed it. Her mother opposed it. Her children opposed it. Everybody told her not to do it, but she went and did it regardless. And what did she do? She trusted that all things are possible. I can do this. Now, to me, this is evidence because I know this person. I know how this whole thing unfolded. So for me, I'm never going to forget this. This is my evidence that law of attraction works. And so, what evidence do you have that law of attraction works? The other day, one of my coaching clients was having difficulties in her relationship, and she said, universe, I want to see a sign. I want to see a butterfly. Show me a butterfly. Oh, the whole day went by. She did not see a butterfly. At night, when she entered the elevator of her building, there was a butterfly stuck in the elevator. Now, please tell me, if that is not evidence, what is it? And if I didn't know her and somebody came and told me this story, I would not have believed it. But I know this person. She sent me a video of the butterfly. In the morning, she told me she asked for a butterfly. At night, she sent me a video of the butterfly. What is that? It's evidence. We want to collect evidence because when we collect this type of evidence, then our mind cannot reject the premise, all things are possible. If at any point in time I start saying to myself that just can't happen, well, guess what? I have tons of evidence that I've recorded, that is written down. I have a journal, because it's so easy to forget all these little synchronicities that happen. I can tell you tons of stories. My mother, this one is really, I didn't understand it then, but now I understand it. So I went, I dropped science subjects in school, but my parents wanted me to go into medicine, which I didn't. I went into microbiology instead, but that's a whole other story. So I didn't take any math or science in secondary school. And so my mother came with me for my admission to college. And there was a lineup for humanities and there was a lineup for science. That's how they were doing it. There was a big tent and people were lined up to process their paperwork. And I had applied for humanities. And my mother says, let's stand in that lineup. She went to line up in the science lineup. And I said, and she said, shut up and line up. So I did. And we got to the front, the person who was accepting the applications. My mother very confidently handed her the application. The woman asked her a couple of questions. She said, whatever, yeah. Next thing I know, I've been admitted to college to study science, pre-medical. Now, please tell me, how is that possible? 0 math, 0 sciences. That woman should have said, you're in the wrong lineup. She looked at my transcript. And she said, okay, stamped, done. I was amazed. I couldn't believe that this thing had just happened to me. But you know what? Today, that is one of my pieces of evidence that all things are, if you want it, the universe will find a way to give it to you. I still remember my shock. How could this happen? Because at that point, I didn't want to have anything to do with science or math. Anyway, whole other story. But what I'm telling you is, look around you. Those stories are around you. Look around you. Look around you. Look around you. Look into your own life. Look into your own past. Look into what has happened to other people in your life. And I'm telling you these things, the things that I'm telling you are stories from my life. These things have happened in my life. Amazing things have happened in my life. And you look at it and you say, well, how is this even possible? Lots of stories. But collect your evidence, because that evidence is so important. Your own personal evidence that all things are possible is so important. And so here's a couple of things. I'm not going to go into the exercises today because all our time has been spent here with this discussion, but this discussion is at the basis of success with this 40-day program. Here's what I want you to take away. If you don't get to do all the exercises in the book, it does not matter, as long as you do at least one. And if from all the exercises, if you're going to pick one exercise, make that your pre-paving. Pre-paving in the morning, pre-paving going to bed. I tell you, if you just pre-pave, your life will change. And if you want to stay on track with the work, keep coming back here. You'll see me here every day. Keep coming back here. And we will go through the exercises for the day. So just a show of hands, how many people did their pre-paving today? All right, I can only see 2 people, so everyone else has their cameras off. That's okay. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Karen. That's right, Elena. You need to collect your own evidence. Filika, so good to see you. Rachel, awesome. Lots of people on Facebook. All right. So, stay on track with those pre-pavings and appreciate as much as you can. I know that when I started this work, I could not appreciate anything in my life. I couldn't appreciate the people in my life. Everyone had done something to me, so I couldn't appreciate them. And at that point in time, I couldn't even find appreciation for my own children, because at that point in time, I was in such a place of low depression that my children were too much work for me. Like I couldn't handle them. So thinking I could not even appreciate my children. That's where I was. So I told myself, it just happened. It wasn't something, it was guidance and I acted on it. It was just guidance and I acted on it. I would go for long walks in the woods and I just started talking to the trees. And then I started appreciating the trees for listening to me. And then I started to appreciate the fact that I could actually go for a walk in a beautiful place. And then I started becoming mindful of how beautiful that place truly was. And it just everything started changing. So if the intention is there and you are open to being guided, the universe will guide you. And nature, because we don't have history with nature, that tree didn't do anything to me. It wasn't rude to me. It didn't, it didn't hurt my feelings. It's easy to appreciate nature because we don't have any triggers. So that's why I appreciate nature. Appreciate, appreciate, appreciate. All of the work, the blessings section is about things we take for granted that we have all the time. They are in our life all the time. Where we live, the work we do, the people in our life. If we can find little things to appreciate about these things, slowly it starts becoming a habit. And that's what we want. We want to generate momentum on positive habits. Interesting that our discussion in 365 today was all about that momentum and how it creates a force field. So trust me, if you do this work, what will happen is you will develop a bubble around you, a bubble of positive energy. And when anything negative wants to come in, it cannot come in because your positivity creates a cocoon around you. And that's what Abraham means when they say like vibration attracts like vibration. Something negative wants to come inside, it's just going to be deflected by the force field around me, the force field of positivity. So I never have to worry about who else is out there in the world doing whatever they're doing. All I need to focus on is my alignment. Because alignment is literally everything. All right, folks, I am going to close the call today, and tomorrow we will start doing all the exercises and the visualization as we do it together in this group. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Keep up the work. Love you all lots. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone on Facebook. Love you all lots. Awesome. Deborah, thank you. Elizabeth, for putting that in the chat. I see you. Have a super fantastic day one. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Ankita, I'm so glad you joined, sweetheart, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.